America! How y'all doing? We're gonna do recap today. Let me get y'all situated about right there. Let's get you a little closer. About like that, maybe. Very good. Alright, what are we doing today? I have recapped everything like I promised. Went to Alaska. Told you I'd do all the facts and figures of it, mileage and gas prices and that type of stuff. And well, let's just get into it, I guess. All right, the number one was fuel. Took off, went up there with fuel. I bought US and Canadian fuel, of course. What I've done here on this, I've converted all the Canadian liters into gallons and Canadian dollars into US dollars. So we're all talking about US dollars. From now on out, it's all US dollars and gallons, okay? No liters or no Canadian dollars. All right, fuel. I had, in the US, I bought $865 worth of fuel. And in Canada, the US equivalent was $943 in Canada, okay? All right, that's 278 gallons in America and 169 gallons in Canada. Yeah, Canadian fuel is pretty expensive. So what I learned about it is when you go across the border, well, when I left Texas, it was $2.55 a gallon. And as I got farther north, it went up to close to $3 a gallon. It was about $3.15, I think, up there in northern Idaho, or northern Montana. Went across the border, and all of a sudden, boom, it's $3.50. US dollars and US gallons, okay? Liters wise, I can't remember, it was $1.35 a liter or something like that. I don't remember, but let's just say gallons here. So, got up into Canada, it went up to about $3.50, and the farther north you went, the more expensive it got. Up into the most expensive I saw was up there in the Yukon. I can't remember the town. I'll put it right over here somewhere. It was $1.77 a liter, which works out to $5.15 a gallon, US dollars. Okay, so $5.15 a gallon compared to $2.55 a gallon. Big difference. Big difference. So as all of that is said, I spent in US dollars $1,816 in gasoline, just in gasoline only. All right, I drove, I guessed I was going to drive about 10,000 miles. I drove exactly 10,002 miles, okay? So, let's see here. Oh, average. The average cost per gallon in American dollars was $3.92. That was the average over the full trip. Miles per gallon. That's the one that threw me. I was not expecting this. When I bought this van, I bought it down in Killeen, Texas, down by Fort Hood. And I drove it home. I don't know, it's 150, 200 miles, something like that. And I was, just by pushing the button on the dash, I didn't check the fuel mileage off the pump, but just by pushing the button on the dash, I was getting 19, 20 miles per gallon, okay? I drove along there around Waco, real nice and gentle for, I don't know, like 50 mile an hour all through there, and I was getting 21 mile a gallon, okay? So that was off the meter on the dash, okay? I didn't actually check it, the real gallons per mileage and everything. But what I figured out was I came up here and this van had all the seats. It was a 15 passenger van. And I took all the seats out. I weighed it right when I bought it. I took it up to the truck stop and I weighed it. And it was, was it 6,800 pounds, something like that. And then I came home, took all the seats out, took the interior out, gutted the back of it, made it into a steel, basically cargo van. And Went down and weighed it again, and it was 5,800 pounds. So I lost about 1,000 pounds just in the seats and the interior and the upholstery and all that kind of stuff. Now I left it from the back of the driver's seat forward is all original, but from there back is all stripped. Everything except the door panels, I left them on there. So anyway, then after I did all the build, I took it down there and weighed it again, and I was 7,800. So from the time I bought it, getting 21 mile a gallon with 6,800 pounds, or close to 7,000 pounds. By the time I gutted it and built it and put all the water and the batteries and the solar panels and all the stuff that I could put in there, all the wood and lumber, the floor, the insulation, all of that stuff. By the time it was all done, I had gained 1,000 pounds over when I bought it. So here I am. I'm thinking I'm going to get less fuel mileage. And sure enough, off the meter, I was getting 14.2, 15.3. You're right in that area most of the way up there. Then I got up to Alaska and I started getting really good fuel mileage for some reason. And the only thing I can come up with on that was that Alaska doesn't use ethanol that I could see, okay? Just about every station in America has 5 or 10 or 15% ethanol in their gas. And apparently Alaska, they don't grow a lot of corn up there. So apparently they don't put ethanol in their gas. And I got better fuel mileage. Canada's fuel mileage was all over the place. I would get really good fuel mileage on one tank and really bad on the other. And I got to think, well, is it wind? No, it really wasn't that windy. Maybe I'm going up mountains. Well, no, I didn't go over any huge mountains. I couldn't figure out Canada out. Either some of their gas is different than others, and I just don't understand that. I don't know. But airplane. So anyway, after I get home, I add up all the fuel, and I add up the miles, divide that all up. Like I said, I was thinking I was going to get about 15 mile a gallon is what I was guessing. I ended up getting 21.6, and that really threw me because I thought I was getting terrible fuel mileage, and I'm actually getting really good fuel mileage. The thing that throws the meter off on the dash is I bought different tires for this. I'll show you a picture of them here. I bought some BF Goodrich Wrangler TA, the KO2s. They're good traction tires, like snow and mud tires. And I put them all the way around. I didn't like the tires that came on the van. They weren't the factory. This van was used. It had 42,000 miles, so the original tires were probably worn out. And the dealer had put brand spanking new tires on them, but I didn't like them. They looked like they belonged on a Toyota Corolla. They just didn't look right. They were too small, too narrow, too much street tread. I wanted something with more aggressive tread on it. Mainly you get out on some old dirt road and you get stuck. So I wanted better traction. So what I did, I put the tires on, and they're about that much taller than the other one, so it throws the speedometer off a little bit. So I think that's what was throwing that meter off on the dash. It's not very reliable, apparently. So that really surprised me. 21.6 miles per gallon. That really surprised me. So, and did I keep all the receipts? Yes, I kept every receipt. And if for some reason I drove down the road, oh, I forgot to get a receipt at that last gas station. How many gallons was it? And I'd remember, and I wrote it down in a little notebook, and I wrote it down, what town it was, how many gallons, what the price was, the total cost, everything. I wrote all that stuff down. Every time I'd forget. I only forgot about four receipts out of the whole time. And you can see there was a bunch of receipts right here, okay? And I even went back and double checked on when I used my credit card in Canada. I usually pay cash, but I've used credit card in Canada a few times. I went back to make sure they weren't, getting it wrong. There is a little bit of a fee for your currency exchange. It was at the bank. I wasn't expecting that. I expected, I guess. I just didn't know it would happen. That gets us to the next. Let's talk about money exchanges. When I got up to Canada, I of course had no Canadian money. So I went into, I can't remember the town. It was up there. I'll write it down here somewhere. Anyway, I get to this town. I go to a bank, Scotia Bank, like Nova Scotia, Scotia Bank. I believe, I don't know this, correct me if I'm wrong, Canada, but I believe that's one of your big banks, kind of like Wells Fargo or US Bank or Chase Bank here in America, okay? I think Scotia is one of your big banks, because I was way out in BC, and you'd think Scotia Bank would be out of Nova Scotia. So I don't know, but I saw several of the Scotia banks around. So anyway, I went into one of them. I took $500 in. They gave me $632. Well, for the exact straight up exchange rate would be 500, and I would get 655. So they kept $23 in Canadian money, okay, which works out to $17 in US money. So there was a for a $500 money transfer, it cost me $17, okay? So now I've got $632, and I used it just about right. I had no clue how much I was needing, so I just thought I'd buy 500 and go with that. And as it worked out, when I got back down, was getting ready to come back into the United States, I spent all my Canadian money with, you know, fueling up there. And actually I went to a Tim Hortons. Those are pretty good. Wish we had them here in the States. But I spent all my money. I got a few coins left over, nickels and dimes. I got a penny, a Canadian penny. They don't have pennies up there anymore, but I found one. So, so anyway, that's the exchange rate. And let's see here, where we at? We got the fuel mile average and all that, the exchange rates. The things everybody says everything's more expensive in Canada and Alaska. Everything's more expensive. Well, early in the show, or in the trip, about a week into the trip, I'm up there in Stewart, Canada, Hyder, Alaska, and I went up to see the Salmon Glacier. And as I was going up there, you remember the helicopter floating up above with the rope hanging down, and the guys were putting new power lines in for the hydroelectric plant. I went up that hill, you know, it's a valley, and you go up, and there's some, not terrible steep, but you know, any car could go up this thing. But there's steep roads and gravel roads. I went on up in there and turned around and got my pictures and whatever and checked it all out. And as I came back down, I got on some downhill washboard. I need to slow down because this corner, and it's washboard, just, you know. Of course, I'm going downhill and washboard. Everything starts shaking back here in the back. And on my refrigerator, I've got a little lock. It came with a lock. And you can turn it, and a little pin goes down into a hole, and it keeps the door from opening, okay? Now, that's why I bought that particular refrigerator, so I could always just lock the refrigerator, and the door wouldn't come open. Well, guess what I forgot to do? Door come open, and everything come flying out onto the ground. Well, it didn't hurt anything, you know, plastic ketchup bottle or whatnot, none of that, you know. My milk was in the door, so that didn't come out. But the one thing that broke, eggs. I had 18 pack of eggs that I'd bought in America because I knew that all the perishable stuff was going to be more expensive the farther north I went. So I got 18 eggs. Open the door opens, and I don't know how they came out, and the lid came open, and it turned upside down and went splat and broke 17 of them. So 17 eggs broke on the floor. I didn't film that part because I was a cussing. So I had to go into town, and I bought me some more eggs. And in Stewart, Canada, eggs were $3.99 a dozen. Okay, whereas that same dozen eggs in the United States would have cost maybe $1.50. So, you know, a little bit more expensive. When I got to Alaska, when I got to Anchorage, I've been driving all day and just didn't feel like cooking. So I swung into a Wendy's restaurant, you know, Wendy's fast food, and I got me a double and medium fries and medium drink. It cost $11. It's $10.98. Okay, here in the States that'd be about an $8 meal, about an $8.50 probably. So yeah, things are more expensive up there. The things that I really noticed that were expensive were the perishables, anything perishable, produce, eggs, milk, that kind of stuff. They probably don't have a lot of chickens, chicken farms up there in Alaska. So things like that were more expensive. Your meats were more expensive. Things that weren't that much that expensive were canned goods and, you know, non-perishable items like that, because they can ship them up here in a truck or on a container, and it doesn't cost that much, and you don't have to worry about them going bad. It's the perishable stuff that costs. And of course the gasoline. I noticed the gas in can, and after I got out of Canada, got into Alaska, Toke was still expensive, but when I got back down by Anchorage, the fuel wasn't near as expensive down there. I don't remember, it was like $4 a gallon or something like that, $4.15, things like that, okay? So yeah, compared to the States, it was much more expensive. But I get better fuel mileage out of that fuel too, so. All right, now, things I didn't figure into this little sheet here were things like food. You know, I was going to eat no matter where I was. I'll give you a couple examples there, the eggs and the Wendy's and all that. But you're just your general food. I got to eat whether I'm here in Texas or out on the road in the truck or in Alaska or in the Yukon. I'm going to eat. So food is food is food. Okay, so that I just feared wasn't an expense. You're going to eat no matter where you're at. Yes, it does cost more. Just know that. Okay. As far as the overall vacation, I took off on this vacation, like I said, a little over $1,800 in fuel. I didn't spend money on a lot of things. I didn't go on sea trips and excursions and all that kind of stuff. I'm kind of a tightwad when it comes to that kind of stuff. For instance, one of the things I was going to do was go when I got to Skagway. I'd heard about the train. You know, oh, I wanted to take this train. It takes you up someplace where you can't get to. Well, when you're on a ship, when you're on a cruise ship, yeah, you can't get there. So get on the train and go up there. That train was going up the same valley that the highway goes up. So why spend money for the train where you're going to go up the same exact highway on the same exact valley on the highway? Now, when you get to the very top, it does split off a little bit. So there's a little piece there, but not anything that is worth it was like $120 or something like that to ride that train. And I couldn't find if it was $20, yeah, I'd have done it. But for $120, nah. Like I said, I'm a tightwad when it comes to that kind of stuff. Why do it? Why pay for it when you can do it for free in your own vehicle, you know, and listen to your own music and that kind of stuff, and stop whenever you wanted to. Okay, so the things that I actually spent money on. On the way back, remember I stopped at Malad Gorge in Idaho. That was a state park, cost $5 to get in. But I only went to one park. That covers 5 parks in that general area. I could have went to all 5 of them. I just went to the Malad Gorge, spent a few hours there walking around and everything, checking that out. But if I'd have went to all the different parks, it would have been $1 per park. So that wasn't bad, $5, I didn't think. When I went to Whittier, Alaska, remember the tunnel? That tunnel was $13 to go through that. That was the round trip. You know, $13 to go eastbound, and the westbound was free. Of course, that's, you know, you have to get through there anyway. The ferry ride. When I went from Haines, Alaska over to Skagway, the ferry was $129. And I think I got that right. 129 or 124, I can't remember. It was 129, I think. Remember the party up at Healy, the Oktoberfest party? That was a $20 cover charge, and fun was had by all, so we won't talk about how much beer I bought. We had a pretty good time, though. Yeah, I mean, I walked around, you saw what happened. It was a good time, good band and everything. So, but I spent $20 to get cover charge to get in there. Beer was expensive. The old red Solo cups were $7, and if you got the big mug, it was $14. So I'm going to guess I probably spent $50 or $60 in beer that night. So something like that. I don't know, but I had a good time. Didn't have a huge hangover in the morning. Did good. And then on the way back, went to Laird Hot Springs, and that was $5 to go to that. So, I forgot the Banff and Jasper National Parks. They charged me $9 when I came in. It's Canadian money, and that works out to $6.80 or $6.90 American. Now, $6.80 to go through 3 national parks. You had Kootenai, Banff, and Jasper. And on the way back, I came back the same route. So I went through Jasper, Banff, and Kootenai. Went through all 3 of them. It cost $5 or $6.80 or something like that. $5.80. So I thought that was an exceptional deal. And basically, you're paying for the toll road, basically. It's not really a toll road, but that's kind of the way they look at it. This pays for the paving of the upkeep of the highway, the way they were looking at it. So those, if I don't go to 3 state parks or national parks in America, like Yosemite, Yellowstone, and let's say I don't know, what's another one? I can't remember. I'm going blank here. Mount Rushmore, something like that. If I'd have went to all 3 of them, it would have been 30, 30, and 30 probably, or 35 and 25 and 30 or something. It would have been about 90 bucks probably, 80 to $100 to go to 3 parks here in America. Up there, $6. You know, I was just amazed at how now, that sounds real cheap and everything, but from what I understand, Canada pays about 50% in taxes too. So I guess they get it through taxes instead of through the toll booth at the gate. So so anyway, that's pretty much all I spent money on. Did a lot of free stuff. Just walked around and looked at stuff that was free. You know, I almost went on an ocean fishing thing. But I was thinking about doing that, and then Mark calls and says, "Hey, I'll take you out on my boat out on the river." I'm like, "Well, sure." So, well, we'll forget about the ocean thing. It would have cost $200 or $300, $400, something like that. So instead of doing that, I got to go with Mark up there fishing, individual, not on a group thing. It was, you know, one-on-one, kind of a personal tour guide kind of thing, a fishing guide. So I mean, I got really lucky on that. And again, thanks, Mark. You know, I hope you're liking your drone. As you can see, I've got mine fixed. I made a boo-boo, crashed into the tree, of course. So, so anyway, that's about it. So what did I spend? $1,800. There's about $150 there. $2,000 to go to an Alaska vacation, that ain't bad, you know. I mean, add it up, 16.95 cents, so 18.17. And then on this side, 5, 29, 30, 40, 49, 59, 60. About $170 in other things, that, you know, the other expenses. 170, maybe 180 with the Banff and everything. So less than $200 on events, you know, things to go see. So yeah, for about right at close to $2,000. So for $2,000, it was a damn good vacation. It really was. It was good. I didn't go crazy. I didn't usually I go on vacation and I plan everything. We got to be here by this day. We got to go here by that. We got to get this hotel by this time. We can't stay and watch the sunset because we got to get back to the hotel. You know, that kind of stuff. And you're constantly go. You're to time frames. And this vacation, I had no time frame. I didn't even set an exact date when I was going to be back. I decided, you know, I was planning on going right after wheat harvest. Well, wheat harvest that lasted a lot longer than I expected. So I actually went a lot later, which, to think about it, worked out great, you know. Got to go to that Healy party, you know, the Oktoberfest. That was kind of the I wouldn't say the highlight, but it was one of the main things. I had a really good time, you know. So if I had a dead schedule, I've got to leave by this date, got to be back by this date, I would have probably been back here in Texas before that party went off, you know. And I mean, it wasn't some wild and raucous party, but it was fun. And just sitting around and listening to the band and you know, chatting with people and talking and, you know, learning things and whatnot. You know, it was fun. So with that, I think this video is long enough. Gave you a wrap up of the. Now I spent more than that on this trip. Like I said, I didn't put food and all that. One of the things I had to spend money on was about $100. I had a card, a data card, the SD card, in the camera, and had one in the GoPro. And I've got a whole bunch of other cards in a book. It's a little case, and it's a little case. You open it up, and there's all these cards in here. And I forgot and left it in the truck. So I only had 2 cards. I had the card for the big camera, which was the big one, you know, and it wouldn't fit in the GoPro. So I had one for this camera, one for that, and you'd think, well, that's all you need. Not when you're going to film as much stuff as I did. I mean, I filmed a bunch of stuff and then edited out the good parts and showed you guys and threw the rest of it away. You know, that's the way most of my editing goes. I'll edit maybe 6 to 10 times more than what you ever see, you know. I'll take 10 minutes of video and throw 9 of it away, you know. So, and just use that 1 minute of good. So, with that said, I wanted to have more cards, so I stopped at a store at Walmart and I went in. I was going to just buy another couple more 64 gig cards, and they had the 128 gigs on sale for like 50 bucks. Okay, they were like $80 cards or something, and I got them for 48 bucks a piece. So I got 2 of those cards. So that's $100 right there, you know. So I mean, just little things like that I spent money on, but I wouldn't put that as part of the vacation. It was just machinery that I needed, you know, would have bought anyway. So, what else? It's good to be home, and it's bad to be home. It's good to be home because a feeling of accomplishment. Did the vacation, had a good time, drove around, had, you know, enjoyed myself. Glad to be home and done with it. Getting ready to go back to work. What? Ready to go back? Yeah, I like driving. I like my job. So yeah, I'm ready to go back to work. What I'm not, the bad part, Texas. It's about 90 degrees today and real humid, just sticky. I'm sitting here, sitting still, and I'm sweating. So I'm getting tired of the Texas heat. So when I was a young man, it didn't bother me, but this, as I get older, the more I hate it. So anyway, trying to think if there's anything else. The van worked perfect. I don't have any complaints about it. No breakdowns of any kind. I mean, none. I realized I didn't need 900 watts of power halfway after I was up in Alaska. I was actually on the return. I was just leaving Alaska, heading back, actually heading down to Haines, and I reached up there and unplugged one of the panels to see if it would work on 2 panels, if I had any issues with it. And 2 panels was more than enough. So I can't. If you can see the van from here, yeah, let's move you around here. If you see, right, there's the front of the front of the solar panel, and there's the back. There's 2 panels right there and a 3rd panel up here. I'm going to take this panel off, I think. And when I take that off, there's enough room right here, I believe, to put an air conditioning unit on. And, well, I won't have enough solar panels then. Well, I won't need solar panels. The panels are for running the interior stuff. When I'm going to run an air conditioner, I believe I'll get one of those real small 1,000-watt generators. So that's all something I'm thinking about doing, kind of like Hobotech did. He's got a little bitty refrigerator. He bought it, I think, Home Depot or someplace, and it's like a $129 air conditioner. And did I say refrigerator? Air conditioner. And it only uses about 500 watts. So maybe, I don't know. I'm gonna have to figure something out here. But possibly, instead of putting one on the roof, the back wall back here, about right in here, there's the back wall. Maybe cut a hole in it and put the air conditioner in that. So when I close the doors, you can't see it or anything. But when it's hot, I can just open one of the doors, turn the air conditioner on, and the heat will go out the back door. And I won't be able to do that in cities and stuff like that because people can get in and steal anything they want. But when I'm out in the woods, who cares? It'll be during the day. You know, it's just on those few days that it might get hot. So let me get you back in the center. Yep, there we go. So okay, I don't know where I lost you at. The camera shut off on me. What was I talking about? I guess is the van. Everything was working good with the van. Never had any issues with it at all. It drove perfectly. Has more than enough power going up mountains and stuff. Of course, I'm used to a semi bogging down. As you go up a hill, it bogs down. So compared to a semi, this thing took off. I mean, it wasn't a sports car by any means, but it had plenty of horsepower. Never had any trouble pulling mountains of any type. And got so much better fuel mileage than I was expecting. Like I said, 21, what was it, 21.5 or something? 21.6, you know. That was a lot better than I was expecting. So I guess I'm going to cut this off now. Appreciate you going along with me. I'm thinking I'm going to take about a week off editing videos and stuff. I've been putting a video out every day throughout the thing, and then here toward the end I started doing Monday through Friday, 5 videos a week. And I think I'm going to take about a week off of editing videos and stuff. I'm going to get back in the truck and I'll film some stuff, but not be pressured to put them up online for a little bit. So I've taken a vacation from trucking. Now I'm going to take a short vacation from YouTube. Okay. What I'm going to do next week is I'll have a Monday, Wednesday, and Friday video, but there'll be reruns from a year ago or something like that. I'll pick out about 3 good videos and run them. So some of the earlier videos, I mean, it won't be from last 2 months ago or something. It'll be from about a year ago, because a lot of you people are fairly new to the channel and probably haven't seen some of the older stuff. And just think of it as a rerun. Just give me a break from editing and stuff, and then I'll be back to the regular trucking videos, regular stuff that I normally do. So life is good. Ciao.